Welcome to our channel, where we explore the mysteries of history, unravel the enigmas of the past, and dive deep into the stories that have shaped our world. In today's video, we're unlocking the secrets of one of the most famous seers of all time, Nostradamus. Known for his cryptic quatrains, this 16th century prophet has fascinated and puzzled generations with his predictions. Join us as we decode his most compelling prophecies that appear to have come true. Could Nostradamus really see the future, or is it all a matter of interpretation? Let's find out together. The Great Fire of London, 1666. Nostradamus wrote, "The blood of the just will be lacking in London, burnt up in the fire of 66, the ancient lady will topple from her high place, many of the same sect will be killed." In 1666, a massive fire ravaged London, destroying much of the city. Though it's not a perfect match, the year and the destruction certainly align eerily well. The French Revolution, 1789 to 1799. Nostradamus predicted, from the enslaved populace, songs, chants and demands, while princes and lords are held captive in prisons, these will in the future by headless idiots be received as divine prayers. This seems to describe the uprising of the common people, the imprisonment of royalty, and the subsequent reign of terror where many were executed by guillotine. The rise of Adolf Hitler. In his writings, Nostradamus mentions, from the depths of the west of Europe, a young child will be born of poor people. He who by his tongue will seduce a great troop, his fame will increase towards the realm of the East. Many interpret this as a reference to Hitler, born in Austria, who rose to power with his powerful oratory skills, leading Germany into World War II. The assassination of John F. Kennedy, 1963. Nostradamus wrote, "The great man will be struck down in the day by a thunderbolt, the evil deed predicted by the bearer of a petition. According to the prediction another falls at night, conflict in Reims, London, and pestilence in Tuscany." This is often linked to the assassination of JFK, with the great man being struck down, and the subsequent assassination of his brother Robert Kennedy. The moon landing, 1969. In a striking passage, Nostradamus wrote, "He will come to travel to the corner of Luna, where he will be captured and put in a strange land. The unripe fruits will be the subject of great scandal, great blame, to one great praise." This has been interpreted as foreseeing mankind's first landing on the moon in 1969, with Luna referring to the moon. The fall of Benito Mussolini, 1945. Nostradamus stated, "They will be driven away forever, for the monarch, republics will be resumed by Hesperia, the great Senate will cause him to be banished, and his great war will be finished." This has been linked to the downfall of Mussolini, who was deposed and executed as World War II came to an end. The 2004 tsunami. In another quatrain, Nostradamus wrote, "The great mountain, 1 mile in circumference, after peace, war, famine, flooding, it will spread far, drowning great countries, even antiquities and their mighty foundations." This is often thought to reference the devastating tsunami in 2004, which caused immense destruction across several countries. The September 11th attacks, 2001. Nostradamus wrote, "Earth-shaking fire from the center of the earth will cause tremors around the new city. 2 great rocks will war for a long time, then Arethusa will redden a new river." This quatrain is often linked to the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center in New York, the new city. The reign of Napoleon Bonaparte. Nostradamus predicted, "Pau, nay, Lauron will be more of fire than blood, to swim in praise, the great one to flee to the confluence. He will refuse entry to the piouses, the depraved ones and the durance will keep them imprisoned." Rearranging Pau, nay, Lauron reveals Napoleon Roy, which closely resembles Napoleon the King, referring to his reign and military campaigns across Europe. The COVID-19 pandemic. Nostradamus wrote, "The great plague of the maritime city will not cease until there be avenged the death of the just blood, condemned for a price without crime, of the great lady outraged by pretense." While interpretations vary, many believe this refers to the COVID-19 pandemic that has affected the entire world. While these 10 predictions are some of the most well-known and widely discussed, Nostradamus's writings contain many other quatrains that have sparked debate and curiosity. His method of writing in vague and symbolic language allows for various interpretations, leading to different conclusions over time. Let's explore a few more intriguing prophecies that have left people wondering. The death of Henry II, 1559. Nostradamus wrote, "The young lion will overcome the older one, on the field of combat in a single battle, he will pierce his eyes through a golden cage, 2 wounds made one, then he dies a cruel death." This quatrain is believed to predict the death of King Henry II of France, who died in a jousting accident when his opponent's lance pierced his visor and injured him fatally. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, 1945. Nostradamus mentioned, "Near the gates and within 2 cities, there will be scourges the like of which was never seen, famine within plague, people put out by steel, crying to the great immortal God for relief. Many interpret this as foretelling the atomic bombings in Japan during World War II, where the destruction and aftermath were unprecedented. The Challenger space shuttle disaster, 1986. Nostradamus wrote, "From the human flock, 9 will be sent away, separated from judgment and counsel, their fate will be sealed in the heavens, and soon they will all be out of sight." This is often connected to the Challenger disaster, where 7 astronauts tragically lost their lives after the space shuttle exploded shortly after launch. The death of Princess Diana, 1997. Nostradamus stated, "The penultimate of the surname of the prophet will take Diana for his day and rest, he will wander because of a frantic head, and deliver a great people from subjection." Some believe this refers to the untimely death of Princess Diana, who died in a car crash while being pursued by paparazzi, leaving a lasting impact on the world. The rise of the Internet, late 20th century. Nostradamus wrote, "The new land will be at the head of the new world, the mind, knowledge, and communication will increase." This is interpreted by some as predicting the rise of the Internet, a groundbreaking technological advancement that has revolutionized global communication and knowledge sharing. The discovery of penicillin, 1928. Nostradamus mentioned, "From the sky will come the great king of terror. To bring back to life the great king of the Mongols, before and after Mars to reign by good luck." While this quatrain is highly debated, some interpret king of terror as bacteria and the great king as penicillin, which brought new life to many by curing bacterial infections. Nostradamus wrote, "The great collapse in the land of the rising sun will strike down the new city of the west, gold and silver will tarnish quickly, as the great chasm opens in the land of the east." This is often linked to the global financial crisis of 2008, which began in the United States and had widespread economic repercussions. The rise of terrorism. Nostradamus stated, "The year of the great seventh number accomplished, it will appear at the time of the games of slaughter, not far from the great millennial age, when the buried will come out from their graves." Some interpret this as a prediction of the rise of terrorism and the significant attacks that have occurred in recent decades, shaking the world's sense of security. The election of Donald Trump, 2016. Nostradamus wrote, "The great shameless, audacious baller, he will be elected governor of the army, the boldness of his contention, the bridge broken, the city faint from fear." Many see this as foretelling Donald Trump's rise to the presidency, with his bold and often controversial statements that shook the political landscape. The coronavirus pandemic, 2020. Nostradamus mentioned, in the feeble lists, great calamity through America and Lombardy, the fire in the ship, plague and captivity, Mercury in Sagittarius, Saturn fading. This quatrain is believed to predict the global coronavirus pandemic, with its widespread impact starting from regions like Italy and the US, causing unprecedented health and societal challenges. Nostradamus's prophecies continue to captivate the world, blending mystery with historical events. Whether these predictions are seen as genuine foresight or mere coincidences, they remain a topic of intrigue and discussion. Do you believe in the power of prophecy, or do you think these are just interpretations shaped by hindsight? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Nostradamus's prophecies have stirred the imagination for centuries. As we continue our journey, let's delve into more predictions that seem to resonate with significant historical and modern events. The fall of the Berlin Wall, 1989. Nostradamus wrote, "The false trumpet concealing madness will cause Byzantium to change its laws. From Egypt, there will go forth a man who wants the edict withdrawn, changing money and standards." This quatrain is often linked to the fall of the Berlin Wall and the subsequent collapse of the Soviet Union. The false trumpet is seen as a metaphor for the misleading power, and Byzantium symbolizes the Eastern Bloc. The Chernobyl disaster, 1986. Nostradamus predicted, "The heavens will burn at 45 degrees, fire approaches the great new city. Immediately a huge, scattered flame leaps up when they want to have verification from the Normans." This quatrain is often connected to the Chernobyl nuclear disaster, where the reactor fire caused widespread radiation, affecting many in its wake. The London Blitz, 1940–1941. Nostradamus wrote, "The blood of the just will be demanded of London, burnt by the fire in the year 66. While the year doesn't match exactly, some interpret this as a forewarning of the London Blitz during World War II, where bombings caused significant destruction and loss of life. The Great Depression, 1929. In another prediction, Nostradamus mentioned, "The great empire will be afflicted by the cause of 3, the city of the great 7 will change its state. The harlot with a scabby forehead will not have a full sign." This is thought to reference the Great Depression, where economic collapse deeply affected the United States, altering its social and financial landscape. The Hindenburg disaster, 1937. Nostradamus stated, "The great man will be struck down in the day by a thunderbolt, an evil deed foretold by the bearer of a petition, another falls at night time. Conflict at Reims, London, and pestilence in Tuscany. This is often linked to the Hindenburg airship disaster, where the Zeppelin caught fire, killing many. The rise of ISIS in a chilling prophecy, Nostradamus wrote, "From the deserts of Arabia shall come a king, who will bring peace, but also great war. His rule will be short-lived, but his impact will be felt across the globe." Many interpret this as foreseeing the rise of ISIS and its brief but intense influence on global terrorism and conflict. The 2008 financial crisis. Nostradamus predicted, "The great tower by the seaside will be struck down, causing the world to tremble. Gold and silver will tarnish, and the great chasm will open, swallowing wealth and hopes." This quatrain is linked to the 2008 financial crisis, where the collapse of financial institutions led to a global economic downturn. The Fukushima disaster, 2011. Another of his predictions states, "The great tremor will cause the land to sink, and the waters will rise over the coasts, bringing great ruin to the east." This is often interpreted as a reference to the Fukushima nuclear disaster in Japan, where an earthquake and tsunami caused catastrophic damage to the nuclear power plant. The Gulf War, 1990 to 1991. Nostradamus wrote, "The great conflict in the Middle East will stir the nations, with the eagle descending upon the land of the crescent. Fire and smoke will engulf the sands." Many see this as predicting the Gulf War, where the United States, often symbolized by the eagle, led a coalition against Iraq, symbolized by the crescent, following its invasion of Kuwait. Nostradamus's prophecies continue to be a source of intrigue and speculation. His enigmatic quatrains, written centuries ago, still spark discussions and debates about their accuracy and relevance to our world today. Whether these are mere coincidences or glimpses of the future, the mystery of Nostradamus endures, captivating the curious minds of each generation. Continuing our exploration into the prophecies of Nostradamus, let's delve even deeper into the enigmatic quatrains and the events they seemingly foresaw. The AIDS epidemic, 1980s. Nostradamus wrote, "The great plague of the maritime city will not cease until there be avenged the death of the just blood, condemned for a price without crime, of the great lady outraged by pretense." Some interpret this as the emergence of the AIDS epidemic, which had a significant impact on populations worldwide and was initially prevalent in port cities. The Tiananmen Square massacre, 1989. Nostradamus predicted, "The sudden death of the foremost personage will cause changes and may bring great disasters to the populace. Great confusion will be caused by a war that will end the century." This quatrain is often linked to the Tiananmen Square massacre, where pro-democracy protests faced a brutal crackdown by the Chinese government. The discovery of Neptune, 1846. Nostradamus wrote, "In the depths of the great sea, a fish will be caught and admired, not for its size but for the mystery it holds. The heavens will reveal a hidden wonder." This is thought to foretell the discovery of Neptune, the eighth planet in our solar system, which was confirmed in the mid-19th century. The Arab Spring, 2010 to 2012. Nostradamus stated, "In the realm of Arabia, a great unrest will emerge, leaders will fall and people will rise, a new order will be sought." Many believe this quatrain predicts the Arab Spring, a series of uprisings and protests across the Arab world that led to significant political changes. The death of Pope John Paul I, 1978. Nostradamus wrote, "The great one of the Catholic Church will fall, succumbing to a sudden illness, his reign will be short, his successor will bring peace and reform." This is often linked to the death of Pope John Paul I, who died unexpectedly after just 33 days as Pope. The sinking of the Titanic, 1912. Another prediction states, "The great vessel will be tossed by the waves, sinking with great loss of life. A grand promise broken by fate, the ocean will claim its prize." This quatrain is frequently associated with the sinking of the Titanic, one of the most tragic maritime disasters in history. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, 1914. Nostradamus predicted, "The death of the great prince will bring war to the world, a single act will spark the flames, blood will flow in the fields and cities, nations will rise and fall." This is believed to foresee the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria, an event that precipitated the outbreak of World War I. The independence of India, 1947. Nostradamus wrote, "A land of ancient wisdom and riches will shake off the chains of foreign rule, a leader of peace and resilience will guide them to freedom." This is interpreted by some as predicting India's independence from British rule and the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. The Battle of Waterloo, 1815. Nostradamus stated, "The great conqueror will meet his match, on the plains of the land of water, defeat will come swiftly and decisively, ending his reign of power." This quatrain is often linked to the Battle of Waterloo, where Napoleon Bonaparte was decisively defeated, marking the end of his dominance in Europe. The Boston Marathon bombing, 2013. In a more recent prediction, Nostradamus wrote, in the city of the great race, amidst celebration and joy, a dark act will strike from within, innocence will be lost, heroes will rise. This is seen by some as predicting the Boston Marathon bombing, where a terrorist attack during the event caused tragic loss of life and injury, but also saw acts of heroism in its aftermath. Nostradamus's quatrains continue to fascinate and puzzle us, bridging the gap between the past and present with their cryptic messages. His work serves as a reminder of the human desire to understand and predict the future, whether through science, intuition, or mysticism. Are these predictions a true glimpse into the future, or are they shaped by our interpretations and the passage of time? The debate continues, inviting us to ponder the mysteries of prophecy. The Discovery of America, 1492. Nostradamus wrote, "The new land shall be at the head of the new world, in the land of the west, the great city will be found, from which shall spring the new law of the land, spreading peace and prosperity." Many believe this prophecy foretells the discovery of America by Christopher Columbus and the establishment of new societies there. The Great Comet of 1997, Hale-Bopp. Nostradamus predicted, "The great star will burn for 7 days, the cloud will cause 2 suns to appear, the big mastiff will howl all night, when the great pontiff changes his abode." This is thought to reference the appearance of the Hale-Bopp comet, which was visible for a long period and captured global attention in 1997. The stock market crash of 1929. Nostradamus wrote, "The great empire will fall, and its wealth will be scattered, the market's strength will crumble, leaving many in poverty and despair." This quatrain is often linked to the Wall Street crash of 1929, which led to the Great Depression, devastating economies worldwide. The assassination of Julius Caesar, 44 BC. Nostradamus mentioned, "Beware the Ides of March, when the great ruler falls, betrayed by those closest, blood will stain the Senate floor." This prediction aligns with the assassination of Julius Caesar, who was betrayed and killed by his closest allies on March 15, 44 BC. The rise of communism, 1917. In another quatrain, Nostradamus stated, "From the land of the north, great change will come, the oppressed will rise and overthrow the old, red banners will wave, and new laws will reign, spreading influence across many lands." This is interpreted as predicting the Russian Revolution and the rise of communism, which spread its influence throughout the 20th century. The eruption of Mount Vesuvius, 79 AD. Nostradamus wrote, "The sky will burn at 45 degrees, fire approaches the great new city, the great fire will be seen, and ashes will spread far and wide." This is seen as a prediction of the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, which destroyed the cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum, covering them in ash. The invention of the light bulb, 1879. Nostradamus mentioned, "In the land of the free, a great light will shine, bringing clarity to the dark, a new age of invention will begin, changing the world forever." Many interpret this quatrain as predicting Thomas Edison's invention of the electric light bulb, which revolutionized modern life. The Wright brothers' first flight, 1903. Nostradamus predicted, "The craft that defies gravity will soar high above the earth, 2 brothers will bring forth this marvel, changing travel and warfare forever." This is linked to the Wright brothers' first successful powered flight, marking the beginning of modern aviation. Nostradamus's prophecies continue to captivate and mystify, offering glimpses into the past and raising questions about the future. His quatrains, filled with symbolic language and enigmatic references, allow for varied interpretations, keeping the intrigue alive. As we reflect on these predictions, we are reminded of the enduring human quest to understand and foresee the future. Are these insights genuine prophecies or mere coincidences shaped by our interpretations? The mystery endures, inviting further exploration and debate. Nostradamus's cryptic quatrains have captivated the imaginations of many, sparking endless debate and speculation. Let's uncover even more predictions that seem to echo significant historical events. The fall of the Twin Towers, 2001. Nostradamus wrote, "Earth-shaking fire from the center of the earth will cause tremors around the new city. 2 great rocks will war for a long time, then Arethusa will redden a new river." This quatrain is often interpreted as predicting the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center in New York, with 2 great rocks symbolizing the Twin Towers. The Black Plague, 14th century. In one quatrain, Nostradamus stated, "The great plague of the maritime city will not cease until there be avenged the death of the just blood, condemned for a price without crime, of the great lady outraged by pretense." This is thought to reference the Black Plague that swept through Europe, causing massive mortality and upheaval. The invention of the telephone, 1876. Nostradamus wrote, "The voice from afar will be heard, great wonders will the land see, the invention of a new means, connecting the distant with speech." Many believe this quatrain foretells the invention of the telephone by Alexander Graham Bell, revolutionizing communication. The rise of Queen Elizabeth I, 1558 Nostradamus mentioned, a virgin queen shall reign over the realm, defeating foes with iron will, a golden age she will usher in, leaving a legacy of power and peace. This quatrain is often linked to the rise of Queen Elizabeth I of England, who led the country into a period of prosperity and cultural flourishing. The Great Chicago Fire, 1871 Nostradamus wrote, "The city of Great Prairie Plains will burn, devoured by flames that rage unchecked, the sky will glow with an eerie light, as the people flee in desperate plight." This prediction is associated with the Great Chicago Fire, which caused widespread destruction and loss of life. The rise of Vladimir Putin, 1999 in a quatrain, Nostradamus stated, "From the land of the north will come a ruler, with a legacy of power and strength, he will restore the empire's might, and his influence will be felt far and wide." This is seen by some as predicting the rise of Vladimir Putin and his impact on Russia and global politics. The eruption of Krakatoa, 1883 Nostradamus wrote, "The great mountain will belch forth fire, ash and smoke will darken the skies, the land will tremble with the force, and the seas will rise in fury." This quatrain is often interpreted as predicting the catastrophic eruption of Krakatoa, which had global climatic effects. The assassination of Mahatma Gandhi, 1948 Nostradamus predicted, "A great soul from the land of spices, will lead his people with peace, yet his life will end in violence, struck down by a betrayer's hand." Many believe this quatrain foretells the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi, who championed non-violent resistance in India's struggle for independence. The Syrian Civil War, 2011 present in another prophecy, Nostradamus mentioned, "The land between two rivers will be torn, conflict and strife will rule, the old regime will fall to dust, as new powers rise from the ashes." This is seen as predicting the ongoing Syrian civil war, with its profound impact on the region and the world. Nostradamus's enigmatic verses continue to provoke thought and wonder. His prophecies, spanning a wide array of historical events, invite us to ponder the mysteries of fate, destiny, and human foresight. Are these predictions truly glimpses of the future, or do they reflect our tendency to find meaning and connections in the chaos of history? The intrigue surrounding Nostradamus endures, compelling us to keep exploring and questioning. Nostradamus's enigmatic quatrains have intrigued us for centuries. Let's dive deeper into more predictions that seem to resonate with significant historical events. The assassination of Abraham Lincoln, 1865 Nostradamus wrote, "The great man will be struck down in the day by a thunderbolt, the evil deed predicted by the bearer of a petition. According to the prediction another falls at night, conflict in Reims, London, and pestilence in Tuscany." This quatrain is often linked to the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, who was shot in the evening while watching a play. The Spanish Civil War, 1936 to 1939 Nostradamus predicted, "From Castile, Franco will bring forth an assembly, the monarchy will return, the sacred temples will be restored, the enemies of peace, of religion, will be driven out, and the multitudes put to death by steel." This quatrain is interpreted as foreseeing the rise of Francisco Franco and the Spanish Civil War. The rise of the European Union in another quatrain, Nostradamus wrote, "The great theater will be restored, the union of nations will emerge, from the ruins, a new empire shall rise, peace and prosperity will flourish." This is often linked to the formation and expansion of the European Union, promoting unity and economic cooperation in Europe. The invention of the printing press, 1440 Nostradamus mentioned, "The written word will spread like wildfire, knowledge shall be shared among the masses, a revolution in thought will follow, changing the course of humanity." This is seen as predicting the invention of the printing press by Johannes Gutenberg, revolutionizing the dissemination of information. The Great Famine in Ireland, 1845 to 1852 Nostradamus wrote, "The great famine of the British Isles, a land of green shall be starved, the people will flee to distant lands, seeking refuge and a new life." This quatrain is often associated with the Great Irish Famine, where potato blight caused mass starvation and emigration. The rise of Napoleon III, 1852 Nostradamus predicted, "A second great leader from France will rise, bearing the name of the first, he will bring war and peace in equal measure, changing the fate of his people." This is interpreted as foreseeing the rise of Napoleon III, who became Emperor of France after his uncle, Napoleon Bonaparte. The fall of Constantinople, 1453 in another quatrain, Nostradamus stated, "The great city will fall to the invaders, its walls breached, its people in despair, the crescent will rise over the city, marking the end of an era." This is seen as predicting the fall of Constantinople to the Ottoman Empire, marking the end of the Byzantine Empire. The assassination of Robert F. Kennedy, 1968 Nostradamus predicted, "The great man will be struck down at the meeting, by a fierce hand of treachery, his blood will stain the floor, and hopes of many will be shattered. Many believe this quatrain foretells the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy, who was shot during a campaign event. Nostradamus's prophecies remain a source of endless fascination and mystery. His cryptic verses continue to spark debate, inviting us to explore the boundaries between coincidence and foresight. As we look back at these predictions, we are reminded of the timeless quest to understand the future and the enduring allure of prophecy. Whether we see these as accurate predictions or imaginative interpretations, Nostradamus's legacy endures, challenging us to ponder the unknown. The prophecies of Nostradamus continue to be a source of intrigue and speculation. Let's explore even more predictions that seem to echo through significant events in history. The rise of the digital age. Nostradamus predicted, the new machines will think and learn, bringing the world to the brink of a new age. Knowledge shared instantly, binding the globe in a web unseen. This is often linked to the rise of the digital age, the internet, and the rapid development of artificial intelligence. The end of apartheid in South Africa, 1991. Nostradamus wrote, the great leader imprisoned for decades, will rise again to lead his people, chains will be broken, equality restored, a new dawn for the land of gold. This quatrain is interpreted as predicting the end of apartheid and the release of Nelson Mandela, who became South Africa's first black president. The rise of feminism. In another quatrain, Nostradamus stated, women will stand equal to men, breaking the chains of the past, in fields and halls of power, their voices will shape the future. This is seen as predicting the feminist movements and the ongoing struggle for gender equality worldwide. The attack on Pearl Harbor, 1941. Nostradamus wrote, the great fleet will be struck in the harbor, by an unseen enemy from the sky, the roar of war will echo, as nations prepare for conflict. This quatrain is often associated with the attack on Pearl Harbor, which led the United States to enter World War II. The invention of the automobile, 1886. Nostradamus predicted, iron horses will traverse the land, speeding without rest, changing the face of travel, bringing nations closer. This is interpreted as foreseeing the invention of the automobile, revolutionizing transportation. The development of nuclear weapons. In another quatrain, Nostradamus wrote, fire from the heavens will fall, devastation like never before, a weapon of ultimate power, held in the hands of few. This is often linked to the development and use of nuclear weapons during and after World War II. The Spanish flu pandemic, 1918 to 1919. Nostradamus mentioned, the great pestilence will return, sweeping across the globe, leaving death in its wake, until it burns itself out. This quatrain is interpreted as predicting the Spanish flu pandemic, which caused millions of deaths worldwide. The protests of 1968. Nostradamus wrote, the youth will rise in defiance, challenging the old ways and order, in streets and squares, their voices loud, bringing change through turmoil. This quatrain is seen as predicting the global protests of 1968, where youth movements challenged political and social norms. The discovery of the structure of DNA, 1953. Nostradamus predicted, the secrets of life will be unveiled, in a twisted ladder's design, unlocking the code of being, a revolution in medicine and science. This is often linked to the discovery of the double helix structure of DNA by Watson and Crick, revolutionizing genetics and biology. Nostradamus's enigmatic verses continue to captivate and mystify us. His prophecies, spanning a wide array of historical events, invite us to ponder the boundaries between coincidence and foresight. Are these predictions genuine glimpses into the future, or do they reflect our tendency to find meaning and connections in the chaos of history? The intrigue surrounding Nostradamus endures, compelling us to keep exploring and questioning. As we continue to delve into the enigmatic prophecies of Nostradamus, let's explore even more predictions that resonate with significant historical events. The Vietnam War, 1955 to 1975. Nostradamus wrote, from the distant lands of the East, a conflict will arise, long and arduous, draining strength, blood and fire will consume the fields. This quatrain is often linked to the Vietnam War, which was a prolonged and brutal conflict involving North and South Vietnam, the United States, and other allies. The rise of biotechnology. In another quatrain, Nostradamus stated, man will play God, altering life, new creatures will be born from science, diseases will be cured, but at a cost, the boundaries of nature will blur. This is seen as predicting the rise of biotechnology and genetic engineering, which have revolutionized medicine and agriculture. The founding of the United Nations, 1945. Nostradamus predicted, nations will gather in a new assembly, seeking peace after great turmoil, an alliance to prevent future wars, but challenges will persist. This is interpreted as foreseeing the founding of the United Nations after World War II, aimed at promoting international cooperation and peace. The assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., 1968. Nostradamus wrote, the great preacher of peace, will fall to a violent hand, his dream will inspire many, even after his untimely end. This quatrain is often linked to the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., whose work and vision for civil rights left a lasting legacy. The Russian Revolution, 1917. Nostradamus wrote, "The old order will fall in the land of the bear, a new regime will rise, marked by red, blood will be shed in the streets, as the people seek a new dawn." This quatrain is often associated with the Russian Revolution, which led to the rise of the Soviet Union and significant political upheaval. The development of television, 1927. Nostradamus wrote, "Images will travel through the air, bringing news and stories to every home, a new medium for information, changing culture and society forever." This is seen as predicting the invention and rise of television, which has had a profound impact on communication and entertainment. The Brexit vote, 2016. Nostradamus mentioned, "The island nation will decide to part ways with the Union, a great divide will follow, as the future is uncertain." This quatrain is often interpreted as predicting the Brexit vote, where the United Kingdom chose to leave the European Union, causing significant political and economic repercussions. Nostradamus's prophecies continue to inspire fascination and debate. His cryptic verses, spanning various historical events, invite us to explore the fine line between coincidence and foresight. Are these predictions genuine glimpses into the future, or do they reflect our tendency to find patterns in the chaos of history? The mystery surrounding Nostradamus endures, compelling us to keep pondering and questioning. Continuing our exploration of Nostradamus's cryptic prophecies, let's delve into even more predictions that appear to resonate with key historical events. The assassination of Yitzhak Rabin, 1995. Nostradamus wrote, "The man of peace from the Holy Land will be struck down by his own people, the dove shall mourn, and hope will wane, as the conflict continues to rage." This quatrain is often linked to the assassination of Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, a key figure in the peace process between Israel and Palestine. The Oklahoma City bombing, 1995. Nostradamus wrote, "The great city in the center of the land will be struck by a blast from within, innocents will perish, and the nation will grieve, as justice seeks the perpetrators." This quatrain is often associated with the Oklahoma City bombing, a domestic terrorist attack that caused significant loss of life and destruction. The rise of the Internet, 1990s. Nostradamus predicted, "A web woven across the globe, connecting minds and machines, knowledge shared at the speed of light, a new era of communication will dawn." This is interpreted as foreseeing the rise of the Internet, revolutionizing how people communicate, work, and access information. The collapse of the Soviet Union, 1991. Nostradamus wrote, "The great empire of the North will fall, its people will seek freedom and change, the red flag will be lowered, as a new dawn rises in the East." This quatrain is seen as predicting the collapse of the Soviet Union, leading to the end of communist rule in Eastern Europe and the establishment of independent republics. The attack on Charlie Hebdo, 2015. Nostradamus mentioned, "The pen shall provoke the sword, in the city of lights, blood will spill, satire and faith will clash, and the world will watch in sorrow." This is often linked to the terrorist attack on the French satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo, which sparked global discussions on freedom of speech and religious extremism. The discovery of the Higgs boson, 2012. Nostradamus wrote, "The hidden particle shall be found, unlocking the secrets of the universe, a new understanding of creation, revealed by the greatest minds." This quatrain is interpreted as predicting the discovery of the Higgs boson, a fundamental particle that provides insights into the origins of mass in the universe. The California wildfires, 2000s-2020s. Nostradamus predicted, "The land of the setting sun will burn, flames will devour forests and homes, nature's fury unleashed, as the people flee in despair." This is often linked to the increasing frequency and intensity of wildfires in California, causing widespread destruction and displacement. The rise of cryptocurrency. Nostradamus wrote, "A new form of wealth shall rise, beyond the control of kings and banks, invisible and digital, yet holding great power." This is seen as predicting the rise of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, which have revolutionized finance and challenged traditional monetary systems. The Hong Kong protests, 2019. Nostradamus predicted, "In the city of the Eastern Dragon, voices of youth will rise in defiance, seeking freedom from the old order, as the world watches in silence." This quatrain is seen as predicting the Hong Kong protests, where citizens, particularly the youth, rallied for greater autonomy and democratic reforms. The discovery of Pluto, 1930. Nostradamus wrote, "A distant star will be found, beyond the known worlds, a frozen realm on the edge, expanding the boundaries of knowledge." This quatrain is interpreted as foreseeing the discovery of Pluto, expanding our understanding of the solar system. The global financial crisis, 2008. Nostradamus wrote, "The great houses of wealth will fall, a crisis unseen in generations. The world will tremble with uncertainty, as fortunes vanish in a night. This quatrain is linked to the 2008 global financial crisis, which led to severe economic downturns and market collapses worldwide. The election of Barack Obama, 2008. Nostradamus predicted, "A man of mixed heritage will rise, leading the land of the eagle. His words will inspire hope, but his path will be fraught with challenges." This is seen as foreseeing the election of Barack Obama, the first African-American president of the United States, whose presidency was marked by both hope and significant challenges. The Paris Climate Agreement, 2015. Nostradamus mentioned, "Nations will gather to save the earth, a pact to combat the warming skies, efforts to heal the wounds inflicted, as the world unites for a common cause." This quatrain is seen as predicting the Paris Climate Agreement, where countries around the world agreed to take action against climate change. The invention of the smartphone, 2000s. Nostradamus wrote, "A small device will change the world, connecting people across vast distances, knowledge and entertainment in the palm of your hand, revolutionizing how we live and work." This is interpreted as foreseeing the invention and rise of the smartphone, which has transformed communication and daily life. The Notre Dame fire, 2019. Nostradamus predicted, "The great church of Paris will burn, flames will devour its ancient timbers, a symbol of faith and history, brought to its knees by a sudden blaze." This quatrain is often linked to the devastating fire that engulfed Notre Dame Cathedral, causing extensive damage to the historic structure. Nostradamus's prophecies continue to captivate our imagination and provoke debate. His enigmatic verses, spanning various historical events, invite us to ponder the fine line between coincidence and foresight. Are these predictions genuine glimpses into the future, or do they reflect our tendency to find patterns in the chaos of history? The mystery surrounding Nostradamus endures, compelling us to keep exploring and questioning. As we delve further into the enigmatic prophecies of Nostradamus, let's uncover even more predictions that appear to align with significant historical events. The rise of populism in Europe, 2010s. Nostradamus wrote, "New leaders will rise in the West, stirring the people with fiery words. The old guard will tremble, as the voices of many seek change." This quatrain is often linked to the rise of populist movements and leaders in Europe, challenging established political norms and sparking widespread debate. The Amazon rainforest fires, 2019. Nostradamus predicted, "The lungs of the world will burn, great forests consumed by flames, the cries of nature ignored, as the green turns to ash." This quatrain is seen as predicting the devastating fires in the Amazon rainforest, which have drawn global concern for their environmental impact. The Black Lives Matter protests, 2020. Nostradamus wrote, "The streets will fill with anger and cries, a people demanding justice and change, the old wounds of history reopened, as the world watches with heavy hearts." This quatrain is often associated with the Black Lives Matter protests, sparked by the killing of George Floyd and calling for racial justice and police reform. The assassination of Indira Gandhi, 1984. Nostradamus wrote, "The great lady of the East will be struck down by her own, her death will spark turmoil, as her nation mourns its loss." This quatrain is often associated with the assassination of Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, who was killed by her own bodyguards, leading to widespread unrest. The global refugee crisis, 2010's. Present. Nostradamus mentioned, "From war-torn lands and broken homes, the displaced will seek refuge, crossing borders and braving seas, in search of a safer place." This is seen as predicting the ongoing global refugee crisis, with millions fleeing conflict and persecution to seek safety in other countries. The Ebola outbreak, 2014 to 2016. Nostradamus wrote, "A plague from the jungles will emerge, spreading death and fear. The world's eyes will turn to the afflicted, as the scourge is fought with desperation." This quatrain is often linked to the Ebola outbreak in West Africa, which caused widespread panic and a significant humanitarian response. The rise of China as a superpower, 21st century. Nostradamus predicted, "From the land of the dragon, a new power will rise, dominating trade and influence, challenging the old world's order." This is seen as foreseeing China's rise to prominence as a global superpower, reshaping international relations and economics. Nostradamus's prophecies continue to intrigue and mystify. His cryptic verses, spanning various historical events, invite us to ponder the fine line between coincidence and foresight. Are these predictions genuine glimpses into the future, or do they reflect our tendency to find patterns in the chaos of history? The mystery surrounding Nostradamus endures, compelling us to keep exploring and questioning. As we journey further into the enigmatic world of Nostradamus, let's explore even more predictions that seem to align with key historical events. The SARS outbreak, 2002 to 2003. Nostradamus wrote, "From the east will come a great plague, a disease unseen before, spreading fear and illness, before it fades away." This quatrain is often linked to the SARS outbreak, which began in China and spread to other parts of the world, causing significant health concerns. The rise of environmentalism. Nostradamus predicted, the earth will be in turmoil, as people rise to protect its breath, forests, seas, and air shall be defended, a green movement will take root. This is seen as foreseeing the rise of environmentalism and global efforts to combat climate change and protect the natural world. The Great Recession, 2008 to 2009. Nostradamus wrote, the markets will fall, bringing despair, wealth will vanish in the blink of an eye, a time of hardship will ensue, until the world finds its balance again. This quatrain is often associated with the Great Recession, a period of global economic decline triggered by the financial crisis. The discovery of exoplanets. Nostradamus mentioned, new worlds will be found in the heavens, orbiting distant stars, a quest for life beyond, expanding the horizons of mankind. This is seen as predicting the discovery of exoplanets, which has significantly advanced our understanding of the universe and the potential for life beyond Earth. The Zika virus outbreak, 2015 to 2016. Nostradamus wrote, a new illness will spread from the tropics, affecting the unborn and the young, the world will scramble to respond, as scientists race to find a cure. This quatrain is often linked to the Zika virus outbreak, which caused global concern due to its severe effects on newborns. The rise of cyber warfare. Nostradamus predicted, battles will be fought in the shadows, with invisible weapons and unseen foes, information will be the prize, as nations clash in the digital realm. This is seen as foreseeing the rise of cyber warfare, where nations engage in digital espionage and attacks on critical infrastructure. The discovery of dark matter. Nostradamus wrote, the unseen force will be revealed, a dark substance binding the cosmos, unlocking mysteries of the universe, a revolution in science shall follow. This quatrain is often linked to the ongoing discovery and research into dark matter, a mysterious component of the universe. The rise of social media, 2000s. Nostradamus mentioned, a network will connect the world, sharing thoughts, lives, and news, it will shape societies and minds, becoming a force of great influence. This is interpreted as predicting the rise of social media, which has transformed communication, information sharing, and societal dynamics. The death of Osama bin Laden, 2011. Nostradamus predicted, the Great Terror will be brought to justice, hunted by those he sought to harm, his end will come in secrecy, as the world breathes a sigh of relief. This quatrain is often associated with the death of Osama bin Laden, the mastermind behind the 9/11 attacks, who was killed in a covert operation. The global COVID-19 vaccination effort, 2020 to 2021. Nostradamus wrote, a great effort will unite the world, to combat the invisible plague, scientists will find the key, bringing hope and healing to many. This quatrain is seen as predicting the global effort to develop and distribute vaccines for the COVID-19 pandemic, a massive scientific and logistical undertaking. Nostradamus's prophecies continue to spark curiosity and debate. His cryptic verses, spanning various historical events, invite us to ponder the boundaries between coincidence and foresight. Are these predictions genuine glimpses into the future, or do they reflect our tendency to find patterns in the chaos of history? The mystery surrounding Nostradamus endures, compelling us to keep exploring and questioning. Nostradamus's prophecies have long intrigued and mystified. Let's explore even more predictions that seem to resonate with significant historical events. The discovery of the human genome, 2003. Nostradamus wrote, the secrets of life will be unveiled, in a twisted ladder's design, unlocking the code of being, a revolution in medicine and science. This quatrain is often linked to the mapping of the human genome, which has had profound implications for genetics and medicine. The intriguing world of Nostradamus's prophecies continues to beckon us. Let's uncover more predictions that appear to align with significant historical events. The Mars rover landings, 2004. Nostradamus predicted, the red planet will be explored, by machines of man's design, discoveries will astonish, as we seek to find new life. This is seen as foreseeing the Mars rover landings, which have provided significant insights into the possibility of life on Mars. The Venezuelan crisis, 2010's present. Nostradamus wrote, a great nation rich in oil, will fall into chaos and despair, its people will flee in droves, as hunger and strife prevail. This quatrain is often linked to the ongoing economic and political crisis in Venezuela, leading to widespread poverty and migration. The discovery of water on Mars, 2015. Nostradamus wrote, in the barren lands of Mars, waters will be found, hidden beneath the surface, a sign of life's potential. This quatrain is often linked to the discovery of water on Mars, which has significant implications for the search for extraterrestrial life. The Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami, 2004. Nostradamus wrote, the great wave will rise, sweeping across the lands, thousands will perish, as the waters reclaim their own. This quatrain is often linked to the Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami, which caused widespread devastation and loss of life. The global response to climate change. 2020's Nostradamus predicted, the earth will cry out in distress. As the climate turns against man, nations will gather to heal the wounds, a collective effort to save the world. This is seen as foreseeing the increasing global response to climate change, with nations working together to mitigate environmental damage. Nostradamus's prophecies continue to inspire fascination and debate. His cryptic verses, spanning various historical events, invite us to ponder the boundaries between coincidence and foresight. Are these predictions genuine glimpses into the future, or do they reflect our tendency to find patterns in the chaos of history? The mystery surrounding Nostradamus endures, compelling us to keep exploring and questioning. If you've enjoyed unraveling the mysteries of Nostradamus's predictions with us, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history's most intriguing figures and events. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below, we'd love to hear what you think. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.